introductions. So maybe we'll get a little bit of an early start on this call this evening. You're on the MIT call, Millionaires in Training call. Just want to check if we have Mr. Chris Estes online. Chris, are you with us, sir?
I am on, David. You seem wonderful tonight.
Well, Chris, I don't have to tell you, it's an exciting time coming out of convention and going right into massive action. I'm looking forward to traveling with you over the next, I guess it's 7 or 8 weeks, all the way up to the Christmas holidays. Every weekend, neither one of us is going to be home. We'll be either flying into town, unpacked, having a shower, catching up on Boys Hill and whatever else, and then packing to go back out. It is certainly going to be an exciting time, and I take it you've been gearing up for it.
No doubt about it, David. I'm excited, I'm prepared, I'm ready, I'm committed, and that's where it all starts. Start to stop, and we have to show the way, so to speak. So it'll be great to see you here in my home state of Kentucky on Thursday, into Nashville, I know, on Saturday. So we're prepping here in Kentucky, looking at, I would say, worst case scenario, David, 700 plus at the first Life Unlimited Tour event, so setting the stage for sure.
Well, no doubt. I've been on Facebook and the ZJ application, and they're talking about you showing up in Canada, in Vancouver, and some of the Western markets and so forth. Well, we're going to basically broadside the whole of North America. So, ladies and gentlemen, on tonight's call, both Chris and I are just going to articulate a couple of the concepts that you can employ in order to get the maximum leverage, the max benefit, the maximum momentum from this effort and from our collective energies throughout ZJ Nation. And that includes, of course, having a picture of how all of this is going to roll out as we go into 2014, 2015, and beyond. Because what we do today is really going to set the stage for our business tomorrow. And I know that you train on a number of concepts as it relates to that, Chris, in terms of what we plant or what we sow today and how we sow it really sets us up for tomorrow. Maybe you can set the stage for this call by articulating that as a concept, and then we can share a little bit of vision of what that actually looks like in terms of the mechanics of it.
Well, David, I think everyone on this call, everyone who has individuals in the ZJ Nation, we all have an advantage right now. We have technology with the new application, and it's just it's extraordinary to see where this company started when I began back in 2008, where this company is. So we have an advantage with the new technology. We're getting a new demographic. We have Success from Home magazine, David, which is an advantage. It's validation. You think about me being in a small town. If I'd have had that back in 2008, my life, I promise, would have been a lot easier here as a part of ZJ. And then we have the 2 new products with the T, and of course, I don't know about you, David, but here locally in this region of the United States, we've literally been burning it up with the new product, the XM Burn, and those are advantages because every single day right now we have some ammunition, a new excitement, a new energy to do some basic fundamental activities that we all know how to do, and that's talking to people. The main thing in this business, David, as we know, is talking to people, talking to more people, talking to many more people. And because of the advantages that all of us now have with those tools, with those products, we can now use those to gear people into the home events, the tasting parties, the post-convention rallies as it leads to these Life Unlimited tours, which is another advantage in regards to being a part of the ZJ Nation, being a part of this company. Because, David, as you and I have had lately some very specific and focused calls on the growth of our company to finish this year and what it means as we move into 2014, and you and I even now expanding into what's possible for 2015. David, at the end of the day, now is then is now. It starts tonight, and what we're doing, how are we preparing tonight for the actions we're going to take tomorrow? That's really the difference in those who do and those who don't. The people that are prepared and then those who act. And so I think, David, in my opinion, we have all of the mechanisms in place, all of the instruments and the tools and everything for someone to have success. We just have to go do it. We have to take the massive action and use the resources. I mean, what rare opportunity, David, is it for people to really do those fundamentals, use the resources to do those activities to build towards an event where there's the formulator, Russ Bianchi, the top two earners in a company where we're merging to create synergy and unity as one Zeta Nation. I don't know about you, David. If you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about it.
Your energy is coming through loud and clear, and you actually just set up sort of a perfect point here to segue into painting a picture or a vision of the next couple of years, starting from what we do tonight, and then we're going to come back and actually go right into the mechanics of building from tonight to tomorrow night to the next night, and then to each of the subsequent events. And ladies and gentlemen, I wrote a post that is on the ZJ application and on Facebook and a few other places, and it was just something I was thinking about as we just came out of convention, that, you know, ZJ as a company has just left the gate. And what I meant by that was really sort of using the comparison to an aircraft. An aircraft comes out of the hangar, as you know, and is, you know, getting ready for some test flights, eventually is ready for flight, will come to the gate, will be loaded with passengers. That takes a little bit of time. Everything gets ready, and then has its taxi to the runway, goes down the runway, and then is getting lift, climbing to its cruising altitude on its way to success, or on its way to destination. A lot of people think ZJ International has launched, Chris, but I personally believe when we look at ZJ in the context of the global market, in the context of 30 countries, 100 countries, the fact of the matter is this company has not yet launched. In fact, ZJ has spent most of its time over these last years preparing for launch, infrastructure being put in place, leadership being developed on the field, and we saw plenty of that leadership at convention this year. New tools and all the tools required to build a global company. Success Magazine, as you mentioned, and of course the new application. And so I believe, from the perspective of where we're going globally, ZJ is now loaded. The vehicle is loaded. The aircraft is loaded. The opportunity is loaded with leadership, with the base core of leadership, and we are now on our way to the top of the runway. We're taxiing to the runway, and the taxiing time could be compared to these next 60 days, where all of us can prepare ourselves for 2014, where a lot of great things are going to happen. Everything from the Black Diamond Hawaii trip to the new Diamond Club and that getaway in San Diego and everything else going on in 30 other countries. Actually, Rod told me commissions have been paid in 44 countries last pay period. 44 countries earned some form of commission. And 2014 will be this company going down the runway. That's what it's going to look like. And it won't be until 2015 until ZJ actually launches as a formidable opportunity to become the global legacy company that we can be. And 2016, 15, 16, and 17 will be the climb to all this company can be. Now, what does that mean to everybody? Well, it means that each of us have a moment in time right now. We have a window. We have an opportunity to put our organizations in place. And that's what this Life Unlimited Tour is about. It's a moment in time, along with tomorrow's ZJ Nation call, to set ourselves up for a great year for the time of going down the runway in 2014. And Chris, maybe you could expand on how we take advantage from the rhythm of the business, from one event to the next event, as we hit 20 cities, because that's only a piece of it. It's not all of it. It's only a piece of it. It's all the work that's being done to invite guests in between.
Absolutely, and you painted a very clear picture about the future of this company, David, and I'm sitting here getting excited because of where we are, and I think everyone on this call has to make some very distinct decisions tonight as to whether they, David, want to be left behind or whether they truly want to take action, because to me the vision is very clear. But as we've been told and as we know, vision without action is nothing more than a daydream, and then action without vision is what we call a nightmare. And so you have to have both, and I think you've painted a clear vision for where we're going and what's forthcoming. We now, as a Zija Nation, have to take those daily actions. We have to take those daily bites of activity in building for these Life Unlimited tour events, because there's a lot of perks, David, that you and I know about in regards to the distributor force and guests who are going to be at these events to help catapult and create some additional momentum as we finish and leave the last quarter of the year. But this is built, David, from tonight's event, which is this call, to the next event, which hopefully for everyone on this call is doing a meeting at, maybe it's at Starbucks, or you're doing a three-way call and you're really gearing and building people toward an event at a home or in a hotel meeting room. That then, David, builds towards the Zija Nation call, which builds towards the next day, which then builds towards the Life Unlimited event, event to event, week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter. That's how we do this, inch by inch. If everyone will take it that way, and we'll do our part today. If we can teach our people to do our part today, and then to do our part this week, and to build and utilize the resources and the advantage, as I mentioned earlier, then everyone's going to be set up and on that plane as it does hit the runway, as you so well mentioned a few minutes ago, David.
Well, Chris, let's just segue here. I know there's a lot of new people on the line tonight. We have a packed call this evening, and there's been a lot of packed calls, mind you, since the convention. This is going on everywhere, in other countries too, as you know. But there's a lot of new people on this line tonight, and they may be listening for the first time, trying to get a picture of what all this is about, what's all this excitement about, and maybe you can give a sort of a 60-second, 2-minute snapshot of what Zija is about. And I guess one of the ways to do that is maybe just share your story, which is a rather extraordinary story, to give people a picture of what's possible.
Absolutely, David. Be happy to do that. Appreciate you asking. You know, it was 5 years ago, 2008. I was a school teacher and a coach, full-time job, part-time life. And here's what I learned, David. I was raising everyone else's kids. I was never going to see my own, never have been involved in network marketing, never have been involved in business. A friend like most of you on this call or a family member introduced you to network marketing, introduced you to Zija. A friend knocked on my door, David, literally knocked on my garage door, opportunity knocked. I stayed open. I took a look. I saw value in the company itself, Ken Brailsford, his track record, me being a coach, me being an athlete. What I saw was a winner. And I know winners breed winners, success breeds success. I knew Ken Brailsford was going to create something that would last. I saw something unique that added value to the marketplace with the nutrition and our product line. And for me, David, I saw an opportunity to stop working in someone else's field, building someone else's dreams. I saw an opportunity for me to begin getting my own dreams back, for me to begin building my own dreams, and to have truly what we call a Life Unlimited. You see, now, David, I have a part-time business with Zija, but I have a Life Unlimited, meaning I get to do what I want, when I want, where I want, as often as I want, with who I want. And there's something special about that. Not to brag, not to impress anybody, David, but it is to impress upon people. We have something special here with this company. We have something special here with the product, with the opportunity to truly provide freedom for people, time freedom, financial freedom, and of course our greatest wealth is our health. And so for me, I'm excited to be able to have those choices, to have those options, to have those freedoms that I would have never had, David, had I stayed on the course of just having a quote-unquote good job. Remember, good is often the enemy of great. And because I went out and went against the grain, if you will, great things have happened to thousands of people indirectly for me just simply getting started. And you don't have to be great to start, David, but you do have to start if you ever want to be great. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it's amazing what's happened as a result of that start. Many people have read that story in the Success magazine that just came out because it's so well articulated. And this relates to every single person on this line. There's a lot of people on this line tonight. There's a lot of people who are part-time Zija distributors, people that are full-time, people that are striving to go full-time. And yes, there are brand new people on the line, including guests who are looking at Zija. A little of my background, I live here in Toronto, Canada. A little bit different for me. I'm 51 now, but 24 years ago, I was in the collectible car business in my late 20s. And in my early 20s, I was a tradesperson, glass and locks. And there wasn't a whole lot of future in that other than it was a family. It still is a family business, but it's hard labor, and it requires going to work every Monday and doing a 40-hour work week, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but it doesn't provide a lot of leverage. It didn't provide the options for a guy like me that really wanted freedom. I love being able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with who I want, as you put it. And so I started in this industry in a similar fashion many years ago, and everything that was a promise at that first event, that time freedom could be created, a residual income, do the work once but get paid over and over again, has come to pass, and not come to pass in the way that I had envisioned in those days, but it's come to pass, come into reality many, many, many times greater than I ever would have expected in those early days. So our vision does expand, does grow. Our belief systems do get anchored deeper and deeper as we become more aware of the possibilities and as we increase our skill sets and as we have a couple of successes under our belt. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Chris and I, along with many other leaders in the company who will be on tour and showing up at many of the event stops and all preparing for the event stops, are all lined up to do one thing and one thing only, and that's assist you and assist the new people in creating prosperity and success. Because obviously our success is dependent, is absolutely dependent, it is supported, it is created by your success. And so our focus is over the next couple of months leading into the holidays is to create the maximum amount of momentum, the maximum amount of new growth, the maximum amount of rank advancements and people achieving new levels of prosperity to set us up coming out of the gates in 2014 at full speed, because that's going down the runway. And of course, when you're going down the runway, it's maximum power to get lift. And what is lift going to look like? Let me tell you what it'll look like. Zija's going to hit $200 million by the end of this year in annualized sales. What lift looks like by the end of 2014? That looks like this company becoming a $400 million company. In other words, doubling in size in 12 to 18 months. What took us 6 years to accomplish, we're going to accomplish in 12 to 18 months. That's what it looks like, and there's going to be a lot of people that has prosperity as a direct result. So, Chris, if there were some action steps, like here's what we do starting tonight to start to do a 30-day or 60-day wind sprint to get out in front of that coming wave, what would that look like?
Well, David, I think the first activity that anyone should take and create as a daily, weekly habit is making and or revising a list. I hear it so much, David, people talking about individuals they're going to talk to, yet they don't even have them on paper. And so knowing that this Life Unlimited tour is going up until the end of the year, knowing that most people on this call are going to be able to plug their team members into one or more of these events, knowing that there's a lot of other activities that can be done leading to and through these events, I would start tonight. I would start tonight with a list of people that you know, and I like to keep it simple, David. I'm a simple person, as you know. Nothing that's crazy or complex about me. I say keep it in the clarity of the simple versus the fog of the complex. Is I would start and think about who do you know that's complained over the last 7 to 10 days to you as you've had conversations with them. Maybe it's been knee pain, back pain, foot pain, shoulder pain, money pain, want to lose weight, whatever it is, David. I start writing their names down and what they've been complaining about. That's a list of individuals that could benefit from our nutritional products. And then I'd be thinking about, who is some successful influences in my circle? Who are some individuals that people look up to who are successful in what they do? Who are some people who understand residual-based income? And I would create that list of people. And then I might even create another category, David, as we talk about just creating a list. I mean, that's a fun activity and should give everyone on this call confidence, because what's going to happen, David, everyone's going to have people on the list. And so I might create another list of people I think that I have influence over and would do whatever I pretty much ask them to do. And so that's a list of people. And then, David, the key is to act upon that list. And that's where I would make contact and I would touch those people. I would touch them either with a phone call or, if I could, even visit them in person. Or, some people use social media with Facebook, or they use email or Twitter, whatever they use. I think face-to-face, belly-to-belly is the best. Phone call is the next best. And then, of course, you have these other mechanisms in which you can connect with people. But I think number one is making the list. Number two is you're going to make contact and go into what I call a rapid fire of getting information in front of these people, David. And of course, people don't have time. So what do we use? We use things like Success from Home magazine, and you point to a story. You simply pique their interest, and you pass and point them to a story, or you get them on a 6-minute, 7-minute video, a lifestyle video that the company has done that's professional, that paints a picture so someone can clearly see that this could be for them. And then I would be in a rapid fire, David, of plugging these people in to individuals who are successful and can relate to their story and answer questions, and then I would be promoting them to a home event or a weekly event in that particular marketplace. And of course, on Thursday in Lexington, it would be to Lexington to get through the Life Unlimited tour. Those would be the activities that I would, on a daily basis, be driving and doing myself, but most importantly as well, be driving to my organization, to the organization to be doing as well.
So it's some very, very basic steps. And you know what, Chris, you talk about this list. I have made, I kid you not, I would say at least 24 lists since I've been in ZJ. I have rewritten my list and revisited the list and re-energized that list about 24 times. Not once, 24 times since I've been here. And you know what? This is another one of those moments in time where I'm rebuilding a new hot list of people. People that I spoke to years ago, people that I've met recently, a whole new circle, a whole new warm market. People's circumstances change all the time. Those that were not interested 6 months ago all of a sudden are interested today. I've even seen some people absolutely not interested 2 weeks ago, and then something changed in their life, and all of a sudden somebody gives them a call, and the next thing you know, they're at an event. Well, with the momentum that we are developing now, and with this tour coming, I promise you, I absolutely promise you, there are going to be a lot of people showing up in ZJ, in various areas around the country, at various events, who you know. And I say you, I mean everybody on this line. somebody you know is going to show up at one of these events through somebody else because they were on that list. And then every so often, one of those people that show up is going to be the next generation leader, the next person to create massive, massive prosperity. And there's nothing greater than having that person and the people that they bring, they influence, underneath you, on your team. I know you've seen it many, many times, Chris, within your organization where people didn't speak to someone and someone else called that person, and that person showed up at an event and ended up becoming a leader in the company. And when we've got this kind of momentum, it's going to happen more and more often.
100%. It's happened, and it's been relatives even, David, that go to the same event, had not spoken to one another, and different distributors from different teams, had those family siblings part of as part of their team or as a guest at the event. So you definitely want to make sure that you attack the list that you have. And then, David, I would say this again, or reiterate this point for the Life Unlimited event as you build towards them, is there's some big perks for guests who are at that event and take action at that event. Some instant gratification, gifting, if you will. So there's some big perks available for guests. And then, David, as you know, there's some perks for the distributors as well that will be announced at the tour event. So everything builds to and through these events, and it's action time for people to master the mundane, master the fundamental activities that build for these big events.
Well, I mean, that's all I'm doing is I'm working with team members along with my own personal people that I'm speaking to introduce to the business, and I'm asking them, who do you know in these various areas? Who do you know? I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be in all these different locations, and I will work to help bring your people on board, help them get plugged into the system, and so forth. And of course, everybody is now networking throughout the country for all the locations. Now, all the locations are available at ZJEvents.com, so you'll see all the locations. There's probably going to be one or two locations added before the end of this tour, no doubt. There may be one or two more, possibly Florida and a couple of others. But for now, the list of cities that are locked down are on ZJEvents.com. Yes, there'll be an incentive for guests. And the biggest thing that everybody can do to be prepared to get maximum benefit is make sure you've downloaded the free ZJ Life Unlimited app or application that you'll get from the Play Store on Samsung or Android phones, and from is it the iStore, Chris?
From the Apple Store?
The Apple Store. Yeah, it's the Apple Store. Sorry, I don't have an Apple. From the Apple Store, if you have an iPhone, download that application so that you're prepared at these events to take full advantage of everything that's on the table. Chris, I thank you for joining us tonight. I know you're busy, and it's great to have you on this call occasionally. I know you've got a number of calls that you've hosted just in these last couple of days. Looking forward to this tour and hitting all these locations with you, along with many of the other leaders who will be present at all of these events. And I just want to project a little bit of energy here so that everybody gets a sense of what's going on. This is a global conference call. There's people online from multiple countries on several continents on this call. And so if you're looking forward to the Life Unlimited Tour, why don't you give us a double *6 now? Chris, I think that tells much of the story of what's about to happen.
I think we better get ready, David.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, prepare yourself what I would, here's the best way to get off to a great start. Yes, build your new list. Do your events, do your meetings, but tomorrow night, we've got the Zija Nation call. We're expecting upwards of, that call will be maybe 2 to 3 times the size of this call. That's a great call, and I've been assured by the company it'll be a great call, even if you have a guest on the call. The guest will get enough of a vision, enough of a picture, so that they will then be asking you questions about, tell me more about Zija, tell me more about the product, tell me more about the up-and-coming events, tell me more about this business. So if everybody on this line tonight sets a goal to accomplish one activity successfully, that would be this. Invite 2 guests and make sure both of your guests are on that call at a bare minimum. You can have 5, you can have more, but bring 2 and watch the momentum that we can create from one day to the next. If you're new on the line tonight, get back with the person who invited you. I know you have a lot of questions. I know there's a lot going on, and you need to get some clarity. The person that invited you will most certainly answer your questions. We invite you to be part of the team. We look forward to helping you achieve your dreams, goals, and aspirations. Triple Diamond Elite DLC member, my business partner, Chris, thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, and have a great evening, everybody.
Thanks, Dave. Great call.
Thank you, David.
Right back to David. Thank you. Great call. Thank you, David. Thank you, Chris. Ron Clayton, Team Impact Chicago.
Thank you, Chris, from Allen, Texas. Fern here.
Thank you, Chris and David. That's it.
Thank you, Chris and David.
Thank you, Chris and David.
Thank you, Chris and David.
Thank you, Patricia, Seattle.
All right.